everyone, today's video is on Coach Vintage Bag. Coach Vintage Bags. I have top 5 of my largest Coach Vintage bags out of my Coach collection, my Coach Classic collection, and I wanted to go over that with you guys today. So if you're interested in vintage Coach bags, if you love these beauties as much as I do, go ahead, stick around, stay tuned, as well as hit the notification bell and the subscribe button so you won't miss out anytime I upload videos on vintage Coach bags. So yeah, let's go ahead, let's jump right in. So I wanted to start off by talking, and I have my tape measure right here, so we're going to be taking some measurements as well. I wanted to start off by talking about these two lovely bags out of my vintage Coach collection. This one was my most recent acquisition, the vintage Coach Rambler bag, and this is the original Rambler, the larger size Rambler, you guys, and I really enjoy some of these larger Coach bags. So I wanted to go ahead and pick up some of the larger vintage ones to add to my collection. And this, I love this one because I have some of my Coach bags in the mahogany brown color and some in black, but this is one of my latest colors that I've acquired in my collection, and this is the tobacco color. It's so beautiful. It's lighter than the mahogany brown and it's darker than the putty. This lovely color tobacco is so beautiful. And this is the Rambler. The dimensions of the Rambler are 12 inches long by 8 inches tall by 4.5 inches wide. And she is such a beauty to add to my collection. Now, I wanted to compare her to this classic beauty right here that we all know and love, the vintage Coach Stewardess bag. And this is a lovely bag as well. It's a really large bag. This is like the old school throwback bag for everyone. Everybody remembers this bag growing up. Everybody's family member had this bag. Everybody aimed to reach to the goal of acquiring this bag when we were younger. Back then, I remember, at least I know the girls that I went to high school with and college with, we all at some point wanted and phantomed up a vintage Coach Stewardess bag. And it's so nice, you guys, you know, to go back and get some of the beauties that, you know, that you dreamt about or that you wanted in your handbag collection. For me, I know it really is. And now these babies are affordable and attainable because you can go ahead and get them on the secondary market and just go ahead and clean them up and enjoy them in your collection. And I remember years and years ago, I used to always think, I only want a new bag, I don't want a used bag, you know. And once I, you know, realized that I wanted to go back and recapture some of my bags that I had when I was younger, like the Coach bags, the vintage Coach bags, I was okay with that because once you clean these babies up, they shine like a diamond. So this is the classic vintage Coach Stewardess bag, you guys. And I'm gonna go ahead and take some quick dimensions, but I will try to go ahead and put formal dimensions in the description drop-down bar below. So this bag is approximately 10 inches long by approximately, we're just gonna guess, I'm gonna say about 9.5 inches tall and about 4 inches wide. So measuring up next to the original Rambler, let's go ahead and look at the width. That's the width of these two babies. So you can see the Stewardess is a little bit taller on my right, on your left, and you can see the Rambler on my left, your right, is a little bit wider. This one is about 4 inches wide. The Stewardess, the Rambler, is about 5 inches wide in width. This is what they look like at the bottom. The Stewardess has feet, the Rambler does not. And then this is what they look like height-wise. Height and width-wise, you can see right there. Okay, the next bag that I wanted to compare to my Rambler as one of the largest vintage Coach bags out of my vintage Coach collection would be this bag right here. Absolutely love my vintage Coach Taft bag, and I have this lovely bag in the lovely mahogany brown, and this is a nice large vintage Coach bag comparatively to the Rambler. This is what they look like. They both have that flap pocket. I love the bags with the flap turn lock closure. There are some of them like the Avenue, which I do like the Avenue, but it has that different type of vintage Coach closure that's like a button stud, whereas both of these beauties have the turn lock closure, and I really favor and love the turn lock closure because those are the ones that I grew up on, you know, remembering and having. It's just something about that turn lock, you guys. I absolutely love it. So the dimensions of the Taft bag are gonna be about 12 inches long, so about a foot long, by about 11 inches tall, by about, okay, we can either measure the width, we could either measure the width by the front pocket or by the just width of the bag. I'm just gonna go by the width of the bag, and that's gonna be about 3.5 inches long. So we're gonna say she's about 3.5 inches long from here to here in width. We're not going to include this front pocket because there's a break right there. You know, there's a break in the dimension right there for the front pocket. So we're going to say about 3 inches long right there. This is what she looks like next to the Rambler. That's what she looks like. So you have this one that's like 3, and you have this one that's like 4.5 inches wide. She is taller, much taller. You're going to get much more space and capacity to hold things height-wise in the Taft compared to the Rambler. That's what those two beauties look like side by side. And that, just for fun and giggles, let's bring the Stewardess back up here and look at the Stewardess next to the Taft. And you can see height-wise. And then you can see width-wise. Remember we said the Stewardess was like 4 inches wide, and the Taft is only about 3 inches wide. So width-wise, you're gonna get more on the Stewardess, but of course, height-wise, you're gonna get more on the Taft. Both have that beautiful turn lock closure front. You know, the Stewardess has the flap, the Taft has the front pocket. Okay. The next bag that I wanna go ahead and compare to the Rambler is the vintage Coach Courier bag, you guys. This is another large, big baby, big mama out of my collection that can hold a lot. One of the largest vintage Coach pocketbook type crossbody shoulder bags that's not a briefcase or moving up to something larger. This is the Courier. We could see clearly the Courier is taller. The Rambler, you get more length on the original Rambler. Width-wise, both of these babies are gonna pack a punch. Width-wise, that's a tongue twister. Width-wise, they both are pretty, you know, wide. That Rambler is really, really a big baby, you guys. She can hold a lot. The Courier can hold a lot as well. The Courier does not have the turn lock feature that most of the classic Coach bags have, because she has this lovely tongue flap that sets her apart from many other Coach bags. That beautiful, beautiful tongue flap that's unmistakable, the Courier. And you know, there are other companies out there, Sam Edelman, Fry, Bourne, other leather companies that have made saddle bags. But in my opinion, I just absolutely love the vintage Coach Courier. She can pack a punch. Her leather is so, so nice. This is a beauty, you guys. All of the vintage Coach bags, their leather is so luxurious. The luster on the leather of these bags, and my bags are not dyed, you know, or anything like that. This is the original leather from the Coach company, the way the bag was made. And I just wanted to go ahead and showcase these two beauties. So the next bag that I wanted to talk about, which would be number 5, the Courier was number 4. The 5th bag that I wanted to talk about, that's one of my largest vintage Coach bags, comparably to the Rambler and other bags out there, is none other than the vintage Coach duffel sack. And I pulled out my green one. I do have this bag in other colors. The green one is one of my favorites. That beautiful, beautiful green color is just so, so pretty. And the dimensions of this bag is 13 inches tall by 9 inches long and by 9 inches wide. So she's 13 by 9 by 9, and the Rambler is 12 by 8 by 4.5. Both of these lovely bags are very nice. The Duffle is more of a duffel sack type, feed sack, carry type, large bag, whereas the other bags are more pocketbook type bags that are more like a pocketbook. But yeah, you guys, I just wanted to speak about some of these lovely bags out of my vintage Coach collection and how they compare up size-wise comparatively to the vintage Coach Rambler bag, the original Rambler. And I do have some of the smaller Ramblers in my collection as well, and I will come back to do additional videos on vintage Coach. And if you enjoy vintage Coach handbag videos, then go ahead and check out my playlist on vintage Coach. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more vintage Coach videos. I'll see you guys soon in another video.